This is the RV Game Changer. In this podcast, we will speak with manufacturing leaders, component suppliers, dealers, subsector innovators, influencers, and industry experts who all believe RVing is good for our environment. It's good for our economy. It's great for our family values and overall well-being. With your help, we can improve the RV experience for everyone. Today's episode of RV Game Changer is brought to you by RVing Today TV. If it has anything to do with RVing and camping, you can bet you'll see it on RVing Today TV. Celebrating its 14th year, RVing Today TV is the #1 weekly RV and camping lifestyle show in the country. Available on major television stations and sports networks nationwide, as well as various streaming media platforms. Visit RVingToday.tv, where you'll find a list of stations and networks carrying the show, along with additional stories, news, and contests. So today on RV Game Changer, we are very excited to be speaking with a true RV Game Changer, James Conboy. He and his team from New England RV Roof LLC not only repair your roof, but they also professionally and systematically remove and replace your roof membrane with a unique product that has the best warranty in the RV industry. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce to you James Conboy, New England RV Roof LLC. Hey, Jim, how's it going today?
Very well, Bernie. Very well.
Well, thanks for being on the show. I want to share all this information with our people watching because it's really important that they know that there is an alternative to that leaky roof. So if you don't mind, Jim, tell us a little bit about your life and what led you to start the RV roof repair business.
Oh boy, that's going back some years. I
only got about a half hour, so
it's okay. I've always been an active RVer for years, and my prior camping experience was on Race Point Beach in Provincetown, Mass. We were the beach bums out there.
Oh, that's a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, but it's a very rugged terrain. And, I started my camping with an older Class C that I fixed up, and then I bought a brand new one. And because of the stress that, driving over the sand dunes caused, I couldn't get the thing to stop leaking.
Oh, yeah. So the sand dunes, you're kind of stressing out the whole camper.
Oh, yeah. So, I started doing research and trying to figure out what could I do. And I came across this company called FlexArmor, RVroof.com.
Yeah.
So I decided, all right, this was for me going to be the method for me to keep this thing sealed up. And I reached out to them and, talked a little bit, a lot of questions and got the answers that I wanted. And then I said, well, I'm interested. I want to have this roof done. And I was told I'd have to go to North Carolina.
North Carolina.
So I thought about it and I said, well, I don't want to go to North Carolina. And of course, their response
I don't blame you. It's a little bit of a hike.
Yeah. And their response was, oh, you can come to Florida. Well, after we started talking to the owners, I learned there was no facility up here in New England doing what we do. And then, it just, the light bulb went on. I belong to a couple of RV clubs. I saw the value of it, and the rest is history,
Yeah, so you got so enthralled with this FlexArmor product that you said, hey, I got to take this on for myself, and you became a franchisee, I guess.
Yeah, now remember, Bertie, we are not franchises.
Oh, you aren't? Okay.
No, we're not. Their model is we are in what's called an authorized application center.
I gotcha.
So
okay, thanks for correcting that.
Their business model is not like, let's say a McDonald's. How many McDonald's can I put in a geographical area? And then they plan and they put them wherever they want. Well, this model is they'll wait till someone contacts them that says, I'm interested in doing this type of roof as a business. What's required? So it's the business owner like myself contacting the corporate parent and saying, I'd like to do this. What do I have to do?
Okay, so do you get a license to sell it in a certain region, or are you protected?
Yeah, there's a contract, as with any business, there is a contract. And, basically what the owners try and do is give you an exclusive protected territory.
Okay.
So that, you do have, to work your area, but it's so that the area will sustain a facility that's opening up. When I joined them, I was the 9th facility to open up. Currently, there's now 34.
Okay. And so you still have the New England region, and there's plenty of RVers out here with plenty of reasons to get your services. But let's talk a little bit about, for the most part, who are your customers and what have they been through? What kind of experiences have they had with their RV roofs? So
my customers, we joke about it at the trade shows when we do our seminars, and we talk to them and say, hey, guys, there's 2 types of RVs, those that leak and those that haven't leaked yet. And, I get the gamut of everyone. I've got young people in their early 20s just starting as newbies. I get experienced, serious RVers who have owned multiple RVs through the life.
Right.
And then, the other part of what I get a lot when COVID hit, I get a lot of people that don't know enough or haven't learned enough to know when they're buying a used RV, what should their inspection be? And of course, a lot of times they'll call and say, oh, my roof's leaking, or, I just bought this, or someone gave me this, or, whatever it is. But the key thing is, from elderly folks in their 70s and 80s, all the way down to, young folks who are just starting to explore the RV world. I get everything in between, and I get every type of RV you can imagine. We've pretty much worked on.
That's interesting, because a lot of the folks that have been RVing for a while, not a lot, but a decent amount, they're starting to get your service done almost right out of the gate. The camper could be virtually new, and they make that decision to do that. Like, what are some of the reasons, why people might do that? Like, what kind of experiences have they had? And, why are these roofs so prone to issues?
Yeah, and it's a very common thought process with the experienced RVers. They've been through the trials and tribulations of a roof leaking.
Right.
A lot of them have had one rot out under them.
And sometimes you can't find the leak, but it's still leaking, and that probably drives people crazy, right?
Yep. And then a lot of them are, they're on their final purchase. They don't want to deal with the maintenance of a roof. They want to protect that investment. And they come to us. I've already done 2024s, a gamut of 2023s. But usually I'll tell folks, even in seminars, if it's brand new, you can wait a couple of years. But there are some people that, no, this is it. I spent all this money on this thing. I want to protect this investment. I don't want to have to deal with it again.
And that makes a lot of sense, because, a little leak can do a lot of damage, right? It doesn't take long for it to have like an overall effect, causing mold or whatever it may be, as we had in some of these lovely photos that I was showing there. Like, that is black mold. That's not good stuff. And you can see that you folks do a very diligent job with that, and you break it all down. But if you don't mind, let's kind of start at the beginning of the process for a little bit. All right. We'll talk about like how this happens. A priest, a rabbi, and a Shaolin monk walk into a bar, and the rabbi says to the Shaolin monk, "Hey, I don't know, but I think I got a leak in my RV roof. What am I gonna do?" And the monk says, "You must pray on it. You must meditate." and the information will come to you from the universe. And then the priest says, forget about it. I got a guy. His name is James Conboy. He's right down in Plainville, Massachusetts. He'll take care of you. So at any rate, having a little bit of fun with you. So Jim, someone calls or emails you, dear Mr. New England RV Roof, I have a 2014, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but I think there might be something wrong with my roof. So, okay, Jim, what happens next?
So a lot of times we'll get, a lead request or an estimate request come in through rvroof.com or our local web platforms, or from visiting us at all the RV shows that we do. But, the process is, they'll provide their name, email, phone number, length of the roof, and what type of RV do they have. Now, a lot of people I'll have to talk to because they don't understand that the length of the roof is never the length of the RV. It's always smaller. And then if they do make notes and say, oh, I have water damage here, or it's doing this, then we try and have a discussion with them to figure out, all right, what do you have that's going on? What would we have to do to fix and provide a permanent solution? And then we, generate an estimate, and out the door it goes. Now, we don't send quotes. It's always an estimate, and we try and be as accurate as possible, because we're going to ask questions like, do you have solar panels? Do you have satellite dishes? Do you have this type of TV antenna? You said you have a soft spot in your roof. Can you describe that? What area is it at? How big of an area is it? And from there, we can get an estimate that's pretty accurate. And the key thing is we will always give an estimate, because we just don't have the X-ray eyes to look at these things and say, aha, I see all the damage. I know what's going on. And people don't realize, once that decking is rotted, we've got to repair it. If it's got wooden trusses that are rotted, or the headers, all of that has to be rebuilt. The insulation is wet. It's got to be pulled out or dried. If there's mold, I have to have mold remediation. But you have to have the solid platform then to put the Flex Armor roof on beforehand.
Yep. That makes a lot of sense, because here's the thing. You don't know if your customer is going to be coming in with this kind of issue, where maybe he just had a little bit of a leak around a skylight or something like that, or this kind of issue where like you got some serious intrusion and over here where every bit of the decking has to get replaced, because the insulation was probably all moldy. You can see little bits of mold in different areas of the roof. With that being said, to get it back to here, it's not just slapping that coating on and getting it done. But so I can understand, until you get down and peel that skin back, and then even some of that rotten decking, you're not going to really know what you're in for, right?
Right. And, that's why in our business model, I'll only schedule 3 RVs a week. We'll do more than that, but I only scheduled 3. We just don't know what's coming in the door. But a lot of times, from experience, like if I get a call for someone that has a Tiffin or a Phaeton or a Newmar, and it's older than 2005, I can pretty much guarantee I'm going to have to redeck the whole thing. Just by the nature.
You're going to be pulling the fiberglass off and redecking the whole substructure.
Sometimes, yes. So, it just depends on the age of the rig. And, I've even done 2023s and they've already got leaks in them, which, we can't figure out why. Where did this leak come from? You
can't find the darn thing.
Yeah.
It's up there somewhere. Yeah. Absolutely. So Jim, it's amazing that this work, it's very comprehensive. You have to go through a lot to get it done. Yeah. And, in general, it probably takes, like you said, you only schedule 3 a week, right? And then on average, then, so you're saying it takes about a day and a half or so for each unit. But if you have a full job like this, where you have to now, how are you going to be able to remediate that ceiling substrate as well as that. What goes on there?
So the average process for us to do a roof, Bernie, is 2.5 to 3 days.
Okay.
So I have the space. 95% of what we do is prep. So part of the building or part of the shop is the preparation part, and then part of the shop is the spraying part. So if we get one that's severely damaged, it goes off to the side. We will prep it there. We'll get it dry. But I can have 2 or 3 or 4 RVs in the shop at the same time. It's just a matter of the workflow.
Oh, I got you.
On average, I'll schedule 3, but I'll do anywhere from 5 to 6 roofs on a weekly basis.
Okay, so what kind of team do you have in the tech department? You probably have a decent amount of admin assistants, but how many techs do you have? You got recon people, and then you have like finish prep maybe, or are they the same people? And then you have the people doing the application, correct?
Well, it's pretty much all my employees. They're all trained that they do everything. And the process is there's a how would I say this? There's a workflow for us to start the prep process. Someone will be starting on the sides of the camper. Someone or 2 guys will be working on the top of the camper. Another guy might be over to another camper that's finished in putting all the components back together. So it just depends, but all of the employees are trained to do the preparation a certain way. Okay. And for us, the preparation is maintaining a quality standard to maintain a lifetime roof warranty. And we have a shop manager who oversees the whole crew. And then I've got, on average, it'll be 4 to 5 guys in the shop working on these RVs.
All right. So you just brought up something, the lifetime warranty. Tell me a little bit more detail about that, but maybe preface it by telling us what is it that they're putting on the roof?
So what we're doing is it's a sprayed roof system, and it's called Flex Armor. It's a pure polyurea. So the product is a sealed product, and until it leaves the tip of the spray gun, the 2 parts of the polyureas do not mix. So it's almost like working with an epoxy glue.
But it actually puts them together at the spray tip.
Right. So then instead of the chemical reaction being in a bucket with a shelf life, as soon as it sprays, the chemical reaction is on the prepped vehicle where it chemically will bond. So the average thickness of the roof is going to be 187 mils, or 3/16 of an inch thick. It's got a 3,500 PSI tear strength, which is kind of like a concrete floor. It also has a 600% elongation factor. So it's made to chemically bond, but to move and flex when you're either driving or towing your rig.
So slow down what you said there. 3,500 pound, what was it?
PSI.
Yep, PSI.
Pounds per square inch.
Pounds per square inch. So you can't puncture the stuff.
Right.
And then you had a 600% times stretchability.
Well, elongation. It's got to go 600% its width before it's going to break a crack.
That's incredible.
It's very similar. Yeah, it's very similar to a bed liner for a truck. But a bed liner for a truck is at low pressure, low temperature, very rough, but it's on an etched metal surface that doesn't move or shake.
Right.
This is, high pressure, high temperature, multiple passes to get the depth that we want. But once it adheres, it has to move. And if it doesn't, it'll crack and peel off.
Yeah, because the campers always stretch and flex going down, and they twist and turn. They do all of that.
Oh, yeah.
So you have a product that can go with the flow, so to speak, and still maintain its integrity.
Yeah, and then, the prep process for us, Bernie, is we're removing all the caulking. We remove all the manufacturer screws. They don't use the right screws for the applications that they're meant for. And then from there, there's certain chemicals, cleaners, primers that we use that are all proprietary. There you go.
Tell us about this pink stuff going on there.
That's the primer.
That's the what? The primer?
It's a primer. There are certain parts that we have to prime to get a chemical bond. But
Oh,
this is all done after we use a solvent to clean it. So, for instance, any metal, we have to use the solvent to clean it because all metals have oil in it.
right.
So you got to clean the oil off, and then you got to prime it so you can spray it.
But you made that roof one color already. Did you put like one layer of Flex Armor underneath, or what's on the decking?
What you see in that picture there is that's a fiberglass roof, I believe.
Oh, okay.
If a membrane is well adhered, we don't take it off.
Okay.
But when the Flex Armor is sprayed, and you probably have some pictures of it in your stuff, the Flex Armor is actually in a grayish color. Once we're done with the Flex Armor, we apply a latex polymer UV top coat.
Oh, wow.
So we want, the top coat to have the protection from the sun, and then we can customize some of the coloring, and it's mostly around the radius edges or the sides. But the top of the roof would always be white.
All right. So it ends up
like
so. And I mean, it's meticulous, but I want to show people, like, after we've seen the ugly over here, look at what happens before they start, reassembling that roof. But look of the quality of that decking. What kind of decking are you using there?
We use two types. One, I use the Zip system, which is an OSB particle board. Okay. And we found that it's much stronger, more glue, better quality than what the manufacturer's OSB. It's not cheap.
Right.
And then for the ultralight trailers, or where there's a weight issue, we'll use 1/4-inch Luan. Now, remember, I can spray directly onto the wood as well as PVC roofs, TPO, EPPM, fiberglass, and Phylon. It doesn't matter. It's all in the preparation process.
All right. So, yeah, you would have to, for the lack of a better term, maybe etch it or slightly sand it or something so it can grab hold and adhere. But it sounds like this product does, because of, I love the fact that it blends at the spray nozzle. So it's not starting to set up, like you say, in the bucket, and then it actually loses ability for adhesion as you're using it. You're actually getting it for direct, ready to go. And the dryers and everything are happening at the same time as they're touching the surface.
Yep.
I mean, it's technology. I mean, whoever put that together, man, I have to say, this is truly an RV game-changing product. And this can make the difference. Like you said, if you're going to be going on retirement, you're on your third RV, and you've had issues with your roof in the past, and you want to be done with these hassles that we get, you should be seeking out someone like Jim Conboy in Plainville, Massachusetts, with New England RV Roof. This is a brilliant product, and I'm not trying to sell it, and you're not giving me a dime for this interview. I just think it's a wonderful, wonderful product, and people need to know about it.
Yeah, the founder is a gentleman by the name of David Adair down in Jacksonville, Florida. And he used to do spray polyurea, koi ponds, jail cells, gymnasiums, bathroom walls. And some of his friends way back when said, "Hey, why don't you spray my roof?" And, he started researching. He's an expert in polyurea technology. And after the first 10, he developed the formula that now is out through all our locations, which is what we call Flex Armor. That's the actual product name. But it's constantly being refined and improved. And, I'm one of 34 locations that do this, and it'll grow even more as people get on.
Well, it seems like you're getting more and more popular. Things are happening for you. But tell us a little bit about how you make yourself available to the general public. And I know you go around a lot and let people know, hey, this product's available for you. Are you someone who might have had an RV leak? So what are some of the places that people can find you over the year?
Well, over the years, I do all the New England trade shows. And then, all of the locations are doing their own marketing, let's say, to their local trade shows.
Okay.
But, part of my endeavor is I belong to most of the campground owners associations up here in New England. I'm part of NERTA. I'm an associate member for the dealer association. It's all networking. And then we have our own advertising through Google, through Facebook. But the biggest thing is with the Google and the Facebook, it's not so much advertising, it's educating.
Right.
I do a lot of posts to show a lot of before and afters of what we do. And it gives people that comfort factor that they're talking to someone who's done this, not once, but many a time. So it's just, evangelizing to whoever's out there. And then once people are interested, we always offer free appraisals. They can bring their RV down to us here in Plainville, Mass, and we'll take a look at it. We'll walk the roof and give them, as accurate an estimate as we can. And then it's up to the owner, whether or not this is something that they want, to do. And like I said, I could be talking to someone in 2018, and they might just be reaching out to me this year. So it's an ongoing process, but it's when the customer has the need or when they have the accident. And then, insurance will usually cover the cost of a roof for these folks.
Well, that's wonderful. It gives them an opportunity to have, not just someone putting a Band-Aid on the roof. You see that a lot.
Yeah. And, the thing that I'm proud of is when we're done, front to back, side to side, we've created a seamless monolithic roof. No caulking, no seams. The only maintenance you got to do is wash it. So if you're an RVer, I can spend more time at the campfire with my kids, my grandkids, my friends, than going up there working on a roof on a weekend or something like that.
Yeah, these old bones don't like to be crawling hands and knees inspecting caulking lines on the roof,
True.
And you're going to miss something because after about an hour of that, and you're in the hot sun, you're going to get tired of it. And I haven't found a bad spot yet, so I'm going to quit.
Yep.
And you miss that one spot, right? Next spring you wake up and it's a nightmare. All right. So I don't know about your listeners, but again, this is a truly game-changing product and service that you guys perform. And if you want to see Jim, make sure you check him out at the RV shows all around New England. Now, I heard you went down to Pennsylvania last year, right? You went to Hershey.
I used to do that show because we didn't have anyone in that location.
Oh, okay.
I think I did it for 4 years. And then we opened up a facility in York, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And so they're only an hour and a half away. So they take over. But, the key thing is even when we're at the Tampa Super Show, Bernie, we represent a network of authorized application centers. And that's the key thing, lifetime warranty. Well, that warranty, any facility, if there's a warranty issue, will service that warranty issue. There's no out-of-pocket cost for the customer.
Hey, tell the people how they can get a hold of you, Jim.
I can be reached at area code 508-316-0728. The email address is nervroof@comcast.net.
Yeah.
Or, you can text message us through Facebook or Google, any of those means.
That's fantastic. I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. It's absolutely enjoyable to spend time with you and help people get to know more about your product. So thanks so much for coming on the show, Jim. And
thank you for having us, Bernie. It's been
all right. No problem. My pleasure, buddy.
All right.
Thanks to Jim Conboy one more time from New England RV Roofs. And if you want to find the latest episode of RV Game Changer, make sure you go to rvtoday.tv, where you find our latest episode along with a lot of great information, tips and tricks, and videos of RVing Today TV. If you want to get a hold of me, go to RV Game Changer on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and make sure to subscribe. Have a wonderful week and God bless.